Man is created in God's image. Our fourth core belief deals with God's special relationship with man. See, man is the crowning work of God's creation. In Genesis chapter 1, there's this overview of all of creation, but in Genesis chapter 2, the writer zooms in and focuses specifically on the creation of humanity. What we find is God speaks into existence everything, but with man, he uses his hands and forms him and breathes life into him. In doing so, we realize that God's creation of humanity is specific and purposeful. And in that purpose, we see that God created man as male and female. This is not an accident or the result of a fallen world. From the beginning, in God's perfect creation of humanity, he made men and women. And in his creation of men and women, he creates marriage, which is a union between one man and one woman. We see this as a part of his good creation that reflects his image and the salvation that he gives us, as it paints a picture of Christ's relationship to the church. It doesn't take very long to see, as we read on in Genesis, that while God created humanity perfect, in Genesis chapter 3, man willingly decides to rebel against God and therefore introduces sin into the world. Every generation since then has dealt with this problem of sin, and our sin nature separates man from the perfect God. We no longer are able to have that right relationship with the Father, and we are deserving of an eternal punishment because we've broken a commitment and an obedience to a perfect God. Just because we have sin in our lives does not mean that all of God's image has been washed off of us. We still see God's reflection in humanity, and therefore all life, all human life, is valuable and precious from the moment it's conceived to the moment it breathes its last. Certainly we have fallen short and we have sin in our lives. God has prepared a way of salvation for us. But even in our sinful state, we reflect who God is because man is created in God's image.